last time I cured salmon eggs was (9/11/19). This is why I sing the praise of this stuff. This is the Pautzke's BorX fire. We're gonna see how it looks after 2 years of sitting in the fridge in cure. All right, well, this is my Pautzke's BorX fire eggs that have sat in the refrigerator curing. It's been since 9/11/19. Today we're in September of 21, so 2 years it's been basking in, and it looks incredible. No mold, no white spot, no smell. They smell perfect. I mean, all you can smell is krill. So we're gonna let these cook, sit out here and dry, and we'll come back and check on them, hit them with some more krill, and see how they look towards the final end of the curing stage here. 2 years, it's impressive. This is why I use BorX fire. All right, we finally gotten to the stage where our eggs are tacked up. And you know that because you can touch them like this and you won't pull back a handful of juice. You know, you want them to start drying up to the point where you can handle them pretty easily. It's been about an hour and 15 minutes. And these are actually still a little moist, but shit, they sat in the goop for 2 years, so what can you expect? But these eggs are flawless. They're dimpled perfectly. They hold together fantastic. I mean, you'd think after all that time the skein would just fall apart in your hands, but you can see it's tough. In the next part of the project, I add krill powder. You can never have too much krill powder. And when you think that you've added enough, add it 2 or 3 more times. Probably my 5th layer of krill altogether. And I might end up even doing more. So now you can see the powder doesn't just disappear like it used to, you know, it really kind of just sticks there on the top. And that's how you know you're ready for the next phase, which is boraxing and then burrito mode. So yeah. First thing I like to do is kind of get a clean workspace for the borax part. So move everything down here, shuffle the program. Now with Pautzke's BorX fire, it's already added into the cure. So you do not have to do this part. If you wanted to, these eggs right here are fish ready. You can roll them up in burritos, paper towels, and put them in bags and freeze them, you know. But for me, I don't like the mess. I like to go out and hang eggs right under the boat. So you want your bait to hold up, you know, you want to be able to have the client hanging that thing down there for 15-20 minutes so you're not just blowing through bait, you know. Sometimes you have to do it. It depends on the quality of your egg. Everything always does. So, but for vertical fishing eggs right under the boat, I like a dry egg. And when you put it in the water, it should instantly turn into a milkshake. I mean, the water should just start oozing with white. Okay, so for the final stage, we're going to prep our eggs to go into burritos. So that's the borax stage, the drying stage. Everything's tacked up really good. Run my hand across it and I don't have eggs sticking to me, nice and dry. So I use 20 Mule Team Borax, just like everyone else. I mean, this has been the stuff for as long as I've been alive. So now a lot of guys will do it the old school way. Well, they'll lay it out like this, and then they'll grab their box of borax and they'll start shaking it on your eggs. And because you want to get it in between the slats and the skeins, you know, to where you're getting it really down into all the cracks and stuff. But I've found that when you do the dump on method like that, it's just incredibly wasteful. You know, you lose a lot of borax, and you know, once you start curing a lot and you're going through this once a week, it can get expensive. So I like to get the most out of my borax that I can. So I'll take it out of the borax box and put it in a stick paper bag like this. You got a layer in there. Okay, so I'll take a skein and drop it in there. And with new eggs, I would probably just close it up right now and start shaking the bag. But I think that with as old as these eggs are, I would probably lose a lot of eggs. Maybe not. I mean, I'll definitely try one here. It's a lot more convenient to do it that way, to start shaking the bag. But you can see I'm kind of just rolling it around in here, getting the borax between all the skeins, down into the base of it, until you can't really see any more blood red. You know, you want to start getting kind of a pink look. And you'll know if your eggs are too wet because the borax will just turn to goo on it. That's not good. You don't want that. And like I said, because this is technically boraxifier cure from Pautzke, it's already got this borax in it. So like I said, you don't have to do it. I mean, they will dry out by themselves and be fishable. But this is just my own personal preference here. So now we'll pull them out. And look at that. Everything's down in there, nice and clean. And I can handle it now without getting anything but borax on my hands. And yes, you want to do both sides. You know, you want to get the skein side too. So everything needs to be coated good. All right, so we have our eggs boraxed and dried. Who wants to guess what the next step is now? We adding krill powder, baby. So I like to take some scissors and just cut my skeins down about like so. Then you got nice little pods to fish with. You don't have to freeze massive skeins, you know. Less waste. Now keep in mind, after you cut your skeins down, you're literally cutting into the eggs and stuff. So you're gonna have a bunch of juice coming out again. So I like to kind of rake my pile of borax here and just give it one more dusting, you know. Make sure you get rid of any of that really, really moist stuff where you made your cuts on the end. Otherwise your paper towels just turn to goop while it's in the fridge or in the going to freeze it, you know. Alright, so now it's on to Burrito Bandito. Take paper towel roll, bring it out a little ways. One chunk of skein. Bam. Easy as that. We got all of our burritos made up now. You just bag them up with however many skeins you want for a bag. So one thing that I like to do is after you get your eggs out, you know, you've got the whole bag that's left over with cure in it. And there's loose eggs in there too as well. But that's all good stuff. I don't like to waste it. So sometimes I'll use it and do like a hot batch and cure more eggs with it immediately. Or I like to make up a little tub like this. I just use a little egg netting or something to make as a strainer. And I'll pour it in there so we can strain the eggs out of it and I can collect the juices. Key is you don't want to add too much at a time. It takes a minute. You can see the egg, you know, the husk of the egg, of the loose eggs that come off while the curing process is going on, end up in there. And, you know, adding that into your old nectar bottle makes it really hard to squeeze the juice out through the little nozzle tip. So, there we go. Just add a little batch at a time. About like that. So we've strained the first batch off, so I'll just kind of scrape these eggs off, get them out of the way. You don't have to throw them away. You can actually use this very same netting that I'm using to screen them, and you can make little egg balls for trout and steelhead. Alright, well, we've drained off all of our egg juice and strained them out. So let's see how we did. Look at that. A full tub of homemade nectar. Lots of krill powder. Everything krill. Everything krill. And there you have it. Nectar of the gods, baby. First drop back of the season, baby. Pautzke's 2-year soak. I love it. First drop back of the season, baby. Pautzke's 2-year soak. I love it.